We're losing! Teamwork, guys, more teamwork. They're burying us alive!
Oh, shit.
Jeez, Louie.
I mean, don't you want to beat those bastards? In my book, we're going to be winners.
What's the matter? You got nothing left inside, huh? Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that?
Screw them.
What are you doing? What are people doing?
Is this early access to...
Hey, let me tell you something, bro.
Get out there now and do the best you can.
Alrighty. Episode 173. Another Sunday nighter here. Bad Fodder Figures podcast. He's Matt. I'm Mike. And we're minus the subsidiary, a.k.a. Glovebox Gaming. See, Matt, you know, these other podcasts out there, they live in a fictional world, right? Where we are very we bring the reality to the show, and the reality of the situation is that Eric works a much more important job than the two of us jamokes. And with the recent ongoings in the world at the Pentagon and in D.C., the landscape of his job has changed a little bit. So he will not be able to join us, at least this Sunday night, because, you know, let's be real. He's got to do a real job tonight. He cannot broadcast from the closet to be on Bad Fodder Figures. He's got to be present and accounted for. So we gave him a hall pass. You remember back in the day, Matt, when you were in school, you had the hall monitor, give you a little hall. We gave him a little hall pass tonight. You know.
Yeah. He deserves it. He needs it. You know. Yeah, he needs to take care of his people and his job and stuff, of course. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's much more important job than us. I mean,
there's deep contract negotiations going on behind the scenes. He's weighing his options, work, podcast. You know, we'll see what happens here. But and
he's, you know, and to be honest, he's thinking how we fit into his Glovebox Gaming world too. So, you know, we need to be nice to him, and, you know, hopefully there's still space in Glovebox Gaming for Bad Fodder Figures to still be around. You know.
Right, you know, I mean, they've expanded now. It's just not Glovebox Gaming. There's Glovebox Gym. You know, I saw the weight belt this week. You know, hanging and banging. Going to be drinking his vitamins, saying his prayers. You know, he's going to be doing all that stuff in the garage.
You know what I would like to do. You know, another offshoot of Glovebox Gaming is try and get Devious Mr. Matt's cooking channel into, you know, Glovebox Gaming world. You know, I'm not sure if he's too warm on that idea or not, but
I've for the longest time thought you should have had some sort of channel, you know, tips and tricks around the house. I saw you playing with your wood the other day. You know,
replacing. I'm getting old, Mike. I'm getting old. It's hard to be down on the ground on all fours and screwing in wood and pushing wood to make it straight. I mean, wood's not perfect. You know, it's warped sometimes. You got to fucking mess with it. Play with it to make it fit, you know,
to make it
your wood. Yeah. So, yeah, I started replacing deck board yesterday. It was hot. I was sweating so much I had my glasses on. I had to take my glasses off and put my contacts in because my glasses kept sliding down on my nose and shit. I kept pushing them up and they kept sliding. I was getting pissed off. So I went in and put my contacts in, had to put a hat on to keep the sweat from rolling down and everything. Oh, it was a mess,
we know it doesn't take too much to piss you off, so probably it was just a few drops of sweat, and you're like, son of a...
Yeah. And then, like I said, then the wood wasn't going right. I'm fucking trying with my legs and my feet, trying to get the wood up against the other one, so I can put a screw in. I'm fucking dropping screws down below, and it's like, God, mother bless it. You know?
Where was Noah? Nowhere to help you?
Useless.
Useless.
It's much easier and better off by myself sometimes trying to do stuff.
So you have it all done, or this is something when Barb comes home it'll be done? Is that the goal?
It will be done by the time. Yeah, I'm planning on taking off Friday This coming Friday, when I take off to finish it up. During the week, I'll do a couple more, and here and there. But Friday, I'm taking off and getting it all done.
So what's the strategy here? Like, can Noah walk out onto the deck right now? Are you like lifting up a board and replacing a board, or do you got it all taken apart?
No, it's not. No, I've been like, as I go, I remove 3 or 4 of the old boards and I put new boards down. Okay. Yeah. That way, in case something were to happen, like what happened Saturday, the battery in my drill died because I didn't have it fully charged. I wasn't kind of thinking ahead. So my battery died. I was like, oh, fuck. So, if I had it all replaced, I'd have been fucked. But no, I just went here and there and, doing it as I go. And that way I don't have to worry about something like that. So, no, you can go up there, walk on that. You can definitely tell the difference between the old wood and new wood. Holy shit. It's
not as spongy.
Yeah, you are correct, sir. Totally makes a huge difference.
Now, what are you doing with that old wood? Are you going to be burning it, or is it just you can't burn it because it's got chemicals on it from the stain?
I'll take it. I'll cut it in half for one thing, so I can put it in the back of my truck, and I'll haul it out to the property, and I'll throw it in a big brush pile out there and burn it out there where I won't be able, I won't have to be around it. You know what I mean? We got a big brush pile that we out there, and we just burn whatever in it. So I'll throw it in there.
Don't be the originator of the Ohio wildfires, please. Smokey the Bear. Practice all sorts of Smokey the Bear techniques, please.
No, I will not be that person. It is way too dry right now to do that. But no, after a rain or something like that, or if it's going to rain, then I'll light that sumbitch up, burn it all.
Have you seen those images from like the ferry boat in Greece? The people evacuating from a. Should go Google search it, but there's a video of hundreds of people on this ferry boat. I don't know, you call it a ferry boat? You just call it a ferry. Ferry and a boat is the same thing, just a ferry. Hundreds of people on a ferry. And in the background, it's like something out of like God of War or something. It's just the fucking whole area is just burning. And these people are on a boat going being taken away, being evacuated.
Oh, wow.
It's fucking scary shit. Now, please don't do that in Ohio, because I don't want you fucking people from Ohio fucking, scurrying my way. We got to, please.
Wait. Well, I mean, the West Coast is on fire, so
exactly.
Might as well make this.
Everybody's coming fucking east.
All right, Mike, I won't do that to you.
All right,
I won't do that.
So, is this something you think you're going to be able to pull off on yourself, or you got to bring in your dad or your brother to do, or is this a badge of honor?
What I'm doing now, I can do myself, but when we have to redo the stairs because we're putting in, we're doing all new, what do you call them? They're not risers, stringers, new stringers up, and new tread and all that stuff. I'll have my brother come help me with that, put those up. But this I can do myself. The hardest part is getting the old wood off. Oh my God! So I'm trying as much as I can to undo all the screws now. Because it just pulls the screw, makes it easier. And it's just the hardest part because a lot of the screws, as soon as they're so old, they snap or they break. And fuck, then you got to try and pry the goddamn board off and stuff, and you're fighting wood and shit. It's
splinters.
I'm not worried about splinters, but it's just a pain in the ass, dude. It's hard. It's rough.
So,
you would not like it.
No. I'd pay someone to do that shit. Speaking of which, I was outside today a lot. Fucking all this rain that we've had in July. It hasn't rained at all in August that I can remember. So we're about 8 days in, no rain. But all our rose bushes. I'm not sure if they're rose bushes. Whatever the fuck they are. They got white flowers on them. They look like some type of rose. They're all bent over now because all this rain we had in July. They were standing up perfectly straight before, and now they've just gotten heavy, and they haven't bounced back into shape. And so I went out there today and trimmed a bunch, which probably my wife will not be thrilled about when she gets home. But something needs to be done because they're hanging on the grass. They're hanging down super low. So I went out and did some, trimming. I made sure not to trim main branches, just everything the offshoots. You know what I mean? Just take some of the weight off to see if they fucking go back. But It could be a situation where we need to just do like some massive trimming on these. I think every time you trim these types of things too, they come back in thicker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did a bunch of that. I did a bunch of weeding today because we're getting the property mulched. And so I had to do a bunch of weeding to make sure that was...
Yeah, heat is something on weeds, man. Weeds love that dry heat and they just thrive in it. So, yeah, now is the time to go out in your yard and spray the yard and all that stuff.
And then I did the mowing as well. So I was outside for a long time, man, and the fucking bugs are just so unrelenting. I just went outside like about an hour before this podcast to take the dogs out. I had bites in the back of my legs, my neck, the top of my head. What the fuck?
Damn.
Bugs are unbelievable.
I've been spraying my yard once a month, and that really, really helps.
I have so much yard to spray. Like, where would I start? I don't know.
Well, doesn't your lawn guy come and fertilize your yard?
Yeah.
Ask them if they got a bug thing they can mix in there with it.
Yeah.
And to put down.
I'll have to shoot him an email. But that was my day today. And then I did the inside, cleaned the inside. Lynn's down the Cape, getting ready to sell that house. So I was fucking outside work, inside work. And goddamn it, I tried to take a nap around 5:30, and she's calling me around 6:30 to FaceTime because my youngest wanted to talk to his brothers. I'm like passed out on the lazy boy behind me. What are you doing? It's 6:30. You should be feeding the kids. Trying to take a goddamn nap. What does it look like? So that went over like a screen door in a submarine. And I understand you were at the Reds game today with your sister and son.
Yeah, it was hot, man. Hot, sticky.
Nice.
Reds won.
How many innings did you last?
All 9. Stayed till the end.
Because it wasn't a work night? Or because it was a close game?
Well, close game and nothing else going on. So why not stay? Early game. If it was at evening game, it was going long. I'd probably left early. But being it's a day game and nothing going on, and I just stayed for the whole thing because nothing else really going on.
How many beers you consume? Not enough.
Not enough.
Sister buying? You buying? Another round?
No, I bought my own. She bought her own. Yeah. Noah bought his own food, which was cool. So that was awesome.
Do they do beer delivery to the stands, or you got to go to the concession?
They do not. No, and that's something that's gone this year. Is the people walking up and down the aisles. They don't have that's all gone. They don't do any of that anymore.
They don't have it at all.
No.
That's strange. I've seen it at some other places because you watch the games and you can see. Maybe they just do it for like those seats behind home plate.
Yeah, the seats behind home plate, the diamond seats, or they call it for us diamond seats back there. Yeah, they do the service and delivering that, but they don't do that for the regular folks out in the stands. They do have something though where you could text or call or something like that, order ahead, then you can go through. There's like these windows or doors you go in, locker 21, you open it up, there's your food, you get it, go.
Hot ass
they do something like that. Yep.
I was reading go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I was going to go off on a tangent about hot ass. Please continue.
Well, let me continue about the Reds. I don't know if Boston is doing this, but the Reds, they don't accept cash anymore. It's all card.
Oh,
no cash. Yeah,
which is perfect for me. I never have cash.
I never had cash either. I'm all
I got to imagine the people there that are used to getting tips aren't too pleased. I'm sure they still accept tips.
Yeah, you can still, because it comes up, you put your card in, it comes up, tip 0, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you can, or other. So you can still,
That says other, then he fills in, don't smoke in bed.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, just to tip.
But But I saw something. Someone posted earlier today that the Netherlands are giving disabled. I'm not sure if it was disabled veterans or disabled people, like an allowance to have to hire prostitutes because they believe sex is such an important part of their life that they should be entitled to having sex. So if they've disabled and they're not able to find someone who is into disabled people, they can go out and pay for it.
I like this thought process.
Matt's like, I'm going to go move to the Netherlands and just walk around with a limp.
I'm disabled. I'm disabled. I deserve this.
What's up, Chase? Yes. So Matt be moving to the Netherlands sometime soon.
Yep. Works for me. I wonder if these prostitutes are hot or not.
Oh, I got to tell you. When I was in Amsterdam, not so much. But when I was in Hanover, as they like to say, in Germany, the red light district there. Oh, let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. They had this one street, literally blocked off with doorways on each end. And the girls outside are like the girls that can't make the cut to get, they're trying to head you off at the pass before you get in there. And the girls outside were 7s to 9s. You know what I mean? Good looking women. But you get in that in that street, man, that red light district street there. At least back in the 90s, these were some, 10s and 10 pluses, these girls.
Damn.
And I tell you, this honest to God truth, the singer of my band, who was fat, rotund, got two for the price of one. He paid, I was right there. I was drunk as shit and knew I would not be able to fucking get it up. And I had all the band money with me. And he's like, I need some money. I go, here you go, sir. And I was right there at the window. You come here. Bang, bang. We bang you both. We like you. He got fucking 2 of them for the price of one. And these were fucking top notch.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I couldn't
Wow.
believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was useless. But there was everything you want in that street, too. There was midgets. There was old women. If you had a kink like that, there was everything like that was there, too. But the other, the women that were it was literally like windows. They'd be sitting in the windows and you roll up and they would open these windows. Not like a window like you have here, that goes, top to bottom, one with a hinge, that open like a door. Negotiate what you want, and then you had to go around and they let you in.
God damn. All legal?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hell of a thing, man.
It sounds that way. It sounds like it's.
There's no fucking around. At least in the 90s, there was no fucking around. We played a show, and I remember this, and the fucking people, the road crew that we were with, were like, "There's no fucking around out here, Don't be like the stupid American, because the fucking Turks will fucking carve you up." They're like, these guys got knives. They mean business. Don't fucking, think you're a fucking American hooligan over here, thinking you're going to, be a tough guy. You should come home all cut up. I was like, all right.
God damn.
Right. I was like, okay.
Good to know. Good to know. Good tip.
Yep. Just a tip.
Just a tip.
So how was your week, Matt, been? Have you played anything? Have you been watching anything? Did you get a chance to watch Suicide Squad?
Not yet. No. So I think tomorrow night, that's my Monday night plan, is to check that out. Sit down here on the couch, sit back and relax with some popcorn and a nice drink and sit back and watch that. Check that out.
I know Denny gave it a scathing review online, but he seemed to be in the minority, that everybody else is saying it's fucking great. And he seemed to be very turned off by the movie. But
interesting.
So we'll have to get your take at some point.
Yeah. Because I've heard a lot of people say a lot of good things about it. So see how that works out. But I've been watching too much TV. I've been watching though on YouTube. I don't know how I found out, but I guess you know what Sturgis is. Sturgis, the big motorcycle rally out, west. There's like a
spreader event.
Super Spur event 2021. There's apparently like a bunch of live cams out there,
really?
Showing the street and people riding. So I've been like just sitting back watching all these people out there riding their motorcycles around. And
remember when webcams were a thing? I know both of us are on webcams right now, but remember when cams were like the first like thing that like you could watch people, like you used to be able to like watch people's pets all day, right? Or they'd have them at the zoo. We know how much you love the Cincinnati Zoo, Matt. Do you know all the hippos' names?
Great. I know Fiona. I don't know the other ones.
Yeah,
Fiona.
You love those damn hippos, don't you?
I'm a cat person. Hippos are fat and ugly.
I love fucking hippos, man. But I remember when cams used to be the big thing. I used to have this site for my bulldog. I had a bulldog in the late 90s, early 2000s, Buddy. And I had his own website, and I used to have, like, when I go to work, I'd have, like, just a cam that people could watch, and I could watch, too, of my fucking bulldog just, like, sitting in his bed all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A buddy of mine used to play World of Warcraft with. His name's Edlin. He's on Twitch. And every once in a while he puts a cam on. He's got, like, a duck cam where, like, there's ducks at his house and it's just, watching these ducks all day.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of shit like that. It's just wild. But I mean, these live cams, and then next thing I'm watching that, and the YouTube hole. Next thing I'm watching these ships coming in and out of Lake Superior through this canal and shit. Then I'm watching fucking trains going by. It's like, the fuck am I doing? I'm sitting here watching all these goddamn live cams of other shit.
And you get nothing done, right? You feel useless.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, it's like, fuck, I gotta go to work or something. Crazy. But besides flight, I'm doing a lot of that flight simulator. Just trying to, practice my piloting skills. In my case, you never know when you're
Are you getting an itch? Are you getting the itch to fly?
Fuck no. But
No?
just in case it ever happens, I can, someone says, "Can anyone fly a plane?" Yeah, I can give it. I can give it a go. I think.
I mean,
I can try.
There's more and more crazy stories by the day about the planes. I didn't read the full story to get the whole angle on it, but there were some people that had a mutiny on the plane the other day. I think that they revolted against the staff because the staff was about to kick two, I think, black people off the plane, and the people on the plane like flipped out and they caused a mutiny. So they had to I don't know if they had to land the plane. I didn't read the full story, but if they did something where they had essentially the airline had to bring in a whole new crew.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I don't want to be flying. I don't want to be flying right now.
Well,
as you have said before, people have forgotten how to act out in public.
Yes, I have. There was a guy last week flying Legion or something like that from Ohio. Was like groping the stewardesses and shit, and they had to he started fighting people, and they had to fucking duct tape him to the chair.
Yeah, and you see that he said this guy, a fucking moron of all morons. Then he starts tweeting this week saying this is the most embarrassing thing of his life and blown out of proportion. He absolutely didn't grope anybody, and that he'll be soon. And this is the best thing. He goes, for certain, I won't be flying on Frontier Airlines anymore in the future.
Well, yeah, he won't, because they probably fucking banned his ass from flying.
You think someone could restrain you, Matt, and duct tape you to a seat? I always how many people would that take? I mean, I know Barb has tried, but
Kevin says black folks ain't having it. It's not 1950 anymore. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of
that adrenaline gets flowing, and it's like, holy cow.
Speaking of that, I saw that terrible video someone tweeted out a little while ago. Absolutely disgusting. Marlins at the Rockies, and a black player was hitting. And there's just some racist prick in the crowd just yelling the N-word over and over and over again. Oh, it just drives me insane. Someone needs to fucking put that guy in a headlock and poke his eyes out.
Someone didn't fucking punch him.
Yeah, I don't know. It was only an 8-second clip that someone posted on Twitter, but
God damn.
morons.
Yep.
So yeah, rabbit holes were afoot.
Rabbit holes were afoot, and I'm trying to fly a plane. I'm exploring the world, in the aviation sense, flying around. The hardest part is just, I'm still, I'm starting to learn trim, Mike. It's all about the trim.
Oh, trim.
Okay, it's all about trim. Trim and speed to get that, constant altitude. That's where your plane just kind of floats and goes out there, and you can sit back and relax and watch it fly.
So do we have like a suit on order from Amazon, a little pilot's hat? All you need is
a pilot hat.
Is the hat and the shirt and the coat. And you're going to have some live streams.
Yep. Give me some wings to put on there. Some medals and shit. I don't know.
Just ask Christopher to get some wings on the way home from Florida from the.
Oh shit! I should. Hey Christopher, I'll text him. Hey, see if you can get a pilot's hat. See if you can get one of those pilot hats for me, will you?
Yeah. Tell him you're scared. Tell him you're scared and you really need a hat to calm you down.
Yeah.
Play it up.
Playing that, we did some more Ascent this past week, which was fun. But I'm like stuck doing the same thing over and over again for some reason. I keep going and having to deal with them 4 dudes. We tried to play there at night and doing that, and so I'm not sure what's up with that part of it.
They put out an update this week on the 6th, so that was Friday.
Yeah.
Chase, for some reason, didn't get the update. He kept trying to play last night. And it's like, dude, we're on version 2.0.50. And he was like on version 2.001. I was like, you're going to have to uninstall that and reinstall. So I guess he did that today. And now he's on the correct version and he can host online games. So that problem has been solved. But for you, maybe there was a bug where they talked about a whole bunch of fixes and quest lines that they fixed. So maybe quit out of the game fully, make sure it's up to date on version 2050, and then boot back up and see what's going on.
Yeah, I have to try that and see. It's an okay game. It's not bad. There's lots of power ups and shit and stuff. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
How's John Marston doing? And Arthur Moore?
Great. They're doing great. They're out there, the Wild West, doing their thing, going through, trying to, what's his name? Dutch keeps saying he has a plan. He's got a plan. Mm-hmm. Of course, his plans go to shit every time, they come out. So we all know how that goes with Red Dead.
I'm counting down the days till October because that's an October game for me. If there's a lull in the new games coming out, that cozy, chilly weather, that first bit of fall weather, I'm going to bust out some Red Dead Redemption.
I hear you. Yep. I think that's a good choice. I think, the same with, I might, get Fire Biomutant again that time of year. Just, I need to give that game another chance.
Okay.
Of course, Madden's coming out here, so I'll be getting that.
12 days away.
Yep. Me and my Bengals going to the Super Bowl this year, buddy.
No, you got to televise it again. Not get so nervous.
Yeah, goddamn fuckers make me nervous.
Fuckers make me nervous.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, first preseason games this coming week, right?
Well, they already had the Hall of Fame game.
The Hall of Fame game, right?
Yeah. Yep, they all start this week. I think like most teams had like maybe season ticket holders could go to some like night scrimmages, like where they had like, I know like the Jets had like, white versus green, teams. And Patriots had something similar where they let all their season ticket holders. They said it was like 580 days since the last time fans were at Gillette Stadium.
So. Yeah. I guess all of the stadiums would be open up 100%, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I, obviously saw you at the Reds game today, and I saw Chaffee at the Dodgers game, and I just don't feel like I can go to like this shit's just like going on, man. It's like you look at the country and they got all those hot spots of everything that's going on. It just seems like I don't know. Wish people would be more responsible. The unvaccinated people, But here we are.
Yeah.
You'd love to go to those games and not be worried, right? But you never know who's sitting next to you, and hopefully, if you're sitting next to someone who's got it and then you got it, it's just like can be treated with Sudafed or Advil or something like that, and you're just out for a day or two. We're seeing some of these other people. You're seeing all these concerts now being canceled. All these guys, maybe they didn't get vaccinated for whatever reason. A band from the 80s or 90s that I don't care about anymore called Tesla. They just had to cancel like all their shows. One of the guitar players said he's been in the most pain he's ever been in the whole last week. He's got COVID. A bunch of other bands have had to cancel. Crazy times, but yeah, to your point, I think the stadiums will be open. That's their plan. I think at the worst case, they say no fans can't come, but the games are going to go off without a hitch. They'll play without fans if it gets too crazy. We're still trying to decide, or I'm trying to decide what we're going to do with our youngest. Going back to school in just a few weeks, right? September 1st. He's too young. He's only 8, and you're seeing more and more reports come out across the country of kids getting it, kids dying. It's just don't know what to do. I know Los pulled his kids out of school, and they're going remote, but he's certainly in a more of a area where I feel comfortable saying maybe people there are more hesitant to get the vaccination than maybe where I live.
Yeah.
So, you and Barb discussed that at all? Are you feeling okay with Christopher?
We're waiting to see what the school's going to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're down in Florida now, both of them. In the heat of the fucking surge down there at Disney and all that shit. I mean, she sent me pictures today where they're at Animal Kingdom. They got their sitting there, took a picture with their mask on and shit, sitting there. And I she's vaccinated, he's not.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going to come out.
Is he too young? What's the vaccination age? 13?
Maybe. Yeah, he's 14 now. So.
Yeah, because my 13-year-old's vaccinated.
Yeah, he's 14. So.
But my youngest is 8. So
yeah.
So yeah, having those types of discussions, what to do, where is it our business? Can we ask the principal, hey, are like all the teachers mandated to get vaccinated? Are they all vaccinated? What's the? Of course, what does that? What does that mean? Like, okay, all the teachers are vaccinated, but the kids could still bring it from their home life, So.
Yeah.
But anything else you've been watching or playing?
Yeah, no.
Besides the tubes.
The tubes, the YouTubes, and going, back to work, normal, regular time and stuff. So that's kind of interesting, and it's funny. I got mad the other day. We had a meeting on Teams still, at work. I was like, someone said, well, does anyone want to meet in a team center? I said, yes, that's why we all came back to the office, so we could all meet together in a team center. And not have to talk on the goddamn phone and shit, so we can all be together. That's why we came back here. I could be doing this at home still. Yeah, okay, I'll start scheduling these meetings in the team center instead. It's like, yeah, that's why we're all here, okay? To collaborate together again.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad for the people at my work. I manage 11 people, and 8 of the 11 people got to go back to work. So I manage 3. I'm remote. 3 other people are full remote because they closed the Providence office. I was hired as remote, so I'll never go to an office. but the other 8 people that I manage are all in Florida, and they all got to go back in the office. The return to office plan kicks off the week after Labor Day. They got to go back in. They kind of, I think, to start, they alternate every other week. Mm-hmm. Then at some point during the month, they all will be in the office. So dealing with a lot of unhappy people. Silence is deafening, as they say. You know, you try to ask them about it, and no one says anything, and you know, sure. Starting to see the work. You know, during like not the whole day, but you can look at the productivity, like when the announcement gets put out there, and then the type of work that went on after that for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. There's definitely a change. And there's a lot of places that are still, they're not going to go back. They're like probably at home and stuff now. So
I think Amazon just announced that their offices, obviously not the people in the warehouses, but their offices are not going back to early 2022.
Yeah, a lot of places like that.
Yeah.
And our work is still pretty flexible. If you don't feel comfortable coming back, or you don't, blah, blah, they're still say, well, okay, you.
Yeah, just say fucking.
At home or whatever,
we met at the team center, and I didn't feel comfortable, so I'll be at home for the foreseeable future. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, that Mac guy really scared me, and I don't like him, so I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, he looks like a guy that didn't get the jab, so I'm gonna stay home. Let's see. For myself, Ted Lasso. Watched the new episode of that. Still pretty funny.
A lot of people talk about that show.
Yeah. Oh, and I watched an episode of your show that you keep asking me about. So that's like a what if show. The show that you're talking about on Apple TV.
The For All Mankind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I watched the first episode, and again, it's like a what if. So there was like a race to land on the moon, and the Russians beat the U.S. by a couple of weeks or something like that, and the country was all like in a depressed state, basically because the Russians beat us, and everybody's like watching at the bar, and you think like there's going to be like this like joyous moment, and all of a sudden everybody's just like deflated, right? And then the U.S. attempts to land on the moon, and I won't go into it much further than that in case you watch it. But
I'm thinking about signing up for Apple TV so you can watch it.
So yeah, it's a what if type show. It seemed okay. It seemed pretty good. Definitely in the 60s. Kennedy. It was done when Nixon was president, right? So. Yeah, it was okay. And Ted Lasso was really good. I'm not a guy that likes to binge watch, but the Ted Lasso I found more enjoyable when you're able to binge watch it, because the episodes, it's like a sitcom. Some of the episodes are only like, 22, 28 minutes long. You know what I mean? So
just a quick.
Yeah. So it's like a nice transition. You don't feel drained. Like I could never watch that show that you were just talking about. Like binge watch that. You felt drained after watching that for an hour. You're like, all right, I need a palate.
So are those hour-long episodes?
Well, at least the first one was. The first one, maybe they. I didn't look at the other one, but maybe they just set it up that way. So the first one was longer. But I was like, yeah, there's no way I can jump into like 4 or 5 more of these right off the bat. I felt drained after that first one.
Mm-hmm.
Played a bunch of The Ascent. I'm on level 18.
Oh wow.
What do you think about games? Like, well, what's typical? Like, think about Diablo 3. If you're at level 18, what do you expect the enemies to be? Well, like, when you're doing the main mission and you get to the main mission area, what is your expectation for the level of the enemies? Should they be like 18, just like you? Should they be a level or 2 above you? What do you think is fair?
I would say, on par with you, or maybe, uptick above or something like that.
So they're level 21 right now, and I'm level 18. So it's a three level jump, which seems, it seems okay. I'm not dying a lot. You really got to use those augmentations. I have these spiders that come out and electrocute a whole bunch of people. I got this really powerful laser beam that I can use as well. And you got to get the cooldown just right so those things continuously refresh and you can use them at your disposal. If you're just trying to shoot these guys with the guns you have equipped and not use any of the augmentations, you're not gonna get far in the game. Still trying to figure out the whole cyber deck thing. It seems like, you pick one up, it replaces or builds on top of the one you had previously. So I just got a new one today called the Visitor, which gave me ice pick level 2 for doors, but I'm still level 1 for chest. So I'm not sure I have a full grasp on how that works. I wish it would show you, like, hey, here's all the cyber decks you've got along the way, and this is the current one that you have, and this is what has changed. If they gave us some information to, give like a chronological order of what you got over time and how it's changed. But can't have everything in games now, can you? And
No.
No, the story seems to be getting a little bit better. I don't know too much about what's going on, but I'm working for some other company now than the original guy I was working for, and I don't know. I think the world.
Are you seeing new or different type of enemies, or is it still kind of the same?
You get you get your typical goons, thugs, and then you get like some heavies mixed in now, and you get some robots mixed in with them. And you get some flying guys that can move all over the place. There's some guys that are invisible that pop up every now and then. They just have like that sort of like clear glow around them a little bit, so you can sort of somewhat see them. But yeah, this seems to be over time. Different enemy types for sure. And then there's the bosses that you encounter, right? And those always tend to be a little different.
What about loot? How's your loot coming along?
I got a lot of money. So I'm a guy that likes to break all the fucking boxes. So I got a lot of credits, and I buy all the guns when I go to the shops. Even if I'm not going to use the gun, I buy them. I got a lot. The more you explore, the game rewards you. So I've got a lot of augmentations and modules and guns. But I'm not a big gun guy, so I kind of roll with whatever just feels the best, and I keep leveling that one gun up. You can go to the weapons. There's a weapons shop, and then there's a guy that will upgrade your weapons. So I go to the upgrade place, and I keep upgrading that. So as you progress through the game, you're getting these components, and those are the things that you use to upgrade your pieces of gear. So
okay. Are you finding that worthwhile when you upgrade your gear and stuff? Are you noticing anything like that?
It's just like like any other type of loot game like this. So your gun, let's say, does 132 damage, and you upgrade it. So maybe like the Division or something like that. So now you got 132. You upgrade it. Now your gun maybe does like 154. Damage. Something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just gradual. It's not like it's not like you're going to go from like a level 10 gun to a level 25. It's just if we're just talking like levels, maybe it's a level 10 and you bump yourself up to a level 12.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of stuff to do in that game, man. A lot of side missions. It doesn't do a good job of telling you like where the side mission is. You know how like in Borderlands, you pick up side missions and it tells you what planet they're on and where to go? These ones really don't. Like, I would love for them to have a way like, okay, this is where I am now in the main story, and maybe I don't want to progress further in the main story. I want to do a side mission or two. Tell me when I select a side mission, like, hey, you're in this part of the world, and this is like, 1,000 meters away, or this is, 100 meters away. I wish there was something like, it does a good job of telling you the level, like, hey, the recommended level is 24, you're only at level 18, don't try this. But I wish it would give you some sort of geographical, how do you say that? Geography location. Like, maybe this is like too far away. Maybe you want to do something that's a little bit closer. These are the side missions close to you right now that you could do. Something along those lines.
So you can't make like again, Borderlands is a good example of that, where you can make, or actually any game is a good example of this, where you can make a quest, active. Can you make a side quest active where it will help you, guide you along to?
Yes. Yeah, but the problem is, so let's say you make it active, and okay, so now I've made it active. I press up on the D-pad, and it's showing where me to go, and maybe it says it's 300 meters away. The problem with that is it's 300 meters away to the next location to get me to the next location. So what it's really telling me is that you're 300 meters away from an elevator that's going to take you to this other part of the world. It's not telling me it's 300 meters total to get to where I need to go. You know what I mean? I wish they just did a better way of saying, hey, these are the ones that you could complete that are near you, or just give you, I don't know. Again, I'm not a developer, so it's not really not my job to figure it out, but I'm sure someone smarter than me could figure out a way to tell me these are the types of missions that are near you that you could complete right now. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Shonoff says, I've been getting a lot of glitches in Ascent, enemies spawn out of nowhere, and connection drops playing with friends. So I experienced only that in co-op. So when I played with Matt the other night, they would have these, like, what I would call, like, wormholes. Like, I'd be just, like, running along, and all of a sudden, like, you know, like this portal showed up, and a bunch of enemies popped out. And I only seen that in co-op. When I play the game by myself, enemies are just appearing out of in a normal way. So, yeah, I wonder if the update on Friday fixed any of those issues. But yeah, I did experience that when I played with Matt. I was like, why am I seeing all these portals and guys like just appearing out of nowhere? We haven't had any drops though since that first.
No.
That first Bricko.
No.
Bricko was getting disconnected in the beginning. He was on PC. I think if you've been on console, it's been pretty stable.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't really had any issues. We've been connecting just fine, everything like that.
Yeah.
Not many glitches or anything that we've had.
I'm curious what happens when you boot up your game again and you complete that mission for the second time, and then you try to go on again and see what happens.
I think my biggest issue with the game is when the enemies, like swarm around you, even when you spin to shoot them, they spin behind you. Where you
it's really not a spinning that you want to do with the twin stick shooter. You almost want to back up away from them and then sort of almost like a windshield wiper, right? You want to do the half moon effect. You want to keep everybody in front of you, and then kind of do that half moon shooting at them. If you let them come behind you, try to do your evade, which is the B button, and then try to get to a situation where you can keep everybody in your purview.
Yeah, you tumble away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you try to play like a regular action game, I think you're going to run into a lot of issues. You really got to play like a twin stick shooter.
Yeah.
You got to go back to the basics, Matt. Go out and buy some old twin stick shooters. Get the muscle memory going, and then play the Ascent later once you've graduated. I see Matt give me the stink eye. Like, that's not happening.
Madden's coming out in 12 days, so I'll just play that.
Shonuff says he is on console. 4 drops in 2 hours. No bueno. I didn't know you had an Xbox. Okay. I mean, we didn't have anything like that. Now, were the people you're playing with on console as well, Shonuff, or were they on PC? But otherwise, besides the Ascent, man, this has been a very busy week. This is almost like 360 era gaming for me this week. Every night I was playing with someone, mostly Chase. We did the open beta for Back 4 Blood, which is the Left 4 Dead game. And
Noah's going to play that.
It looks beautiful on. First of all, it looks beautiful on the Xbox in HDR. I think it's optimized, so it looks great. It looks, nice. Sort of like Left 4 Dead in that, sort of like the environments. Well, nice lighting and everything. It does have that flat, Valve look to it. You know what I mean? Gameplay overall is, very easy to master. I'm not super thrilled about the card system. The cards is how you select your, get your perks or your power-ups. And so, I haven't wrapped my head around. I think Chase said it it seemed like they threw that in there unnecessarily and making it overcomplicated, more complicated than it needs to be. Here, let's, we know people like to do deck building and card collecting, so let's wedge this game type into our game. I haven't really wrapped my head around the whole thing. Like, I'm collecting these cards, some that I can play. It seems like I could play all of them, but I can specifically play 5 of them. I'll have to spend more time with that to really understand it. But gameplay-wise, it's typical, shooting zombies and getting to safe houses, right? And upgrading your gear. You're collecting copper along the way, and just trying to get better guns and accessories, Molotovs, grenades, health packs, other things that you can acquire along the way. The problem is, it seems like the game is not balanced enough in certain areas. So Chase and I were trying to do Act 1, which maybe is, I don't know, anywhere between 8 to 10 parts. And so we got to part 9 and we couldn't get to part 10. What happened was we got to part 9 and we got through a really tough situation and we got to the safe house. Or there wasn't even a safe house. There was like, you had to get this key to get into this like closet or shed. Mm-hmm. And it was like either one or two things would happen. Like the shed would give you health so you all could be healed, but then we would have no bullets. Or the opposite, we had plenty of ammo, but then we had no health. And the next section that we had to complete was called Run the Gauntlet, where there's just, hordes of zombies that you had to fight your way through to get to the end. And if you didn't have enough ammo, you were screwed. And if you didn't have any health, you were going down right away. So it seemed like they need to balance that a little bit better. I get that the end of an act, the game is going to be more difficult. It's going to ramp up like, hey, you went through the first 8 levels, now it's going to be more difficult. But more difficult doesn't mean we're going to be harsh on what we're giving you as far as health and ammo. At least in my opinion. Maybe the hardcore gamers will be like, nope, suck it up, Mike. Try to get better, dude. That's a very good thought out plan, criticism. But I just thought they needed to give us more either health or ammo in that situation.
Yeah. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, and I don't know what their end game was there with, like, you only get 3 revives. Well, not 3 revives. You only get 3 chances to continue on. Like, what do they care if I suck and I want to keep going back and I got to start that level over? Like, why is it like 3 turns and then it puts me back in camp and I got to start over again? Like, what is it to them? Like, okay, so I'm at section 8 and I can't get past it. Let me just grind on it. Why do I have to do the whole fucking thing over again after 3 attempts? I don't know. Is that like people like farming, milk like they're getting to an area where they could possibly just die on purpose and just build up resources?
Well, yeah, maybe when they as going through testing found some type of exploit or something with that, so they decide to limit your revives or something. It could be. Yeah.
Shono says, I got my Series X for free from GameStop. I ain't spending no money on it. So that means you traded in stuff, which means you spent money at some point to get those trade-in bucks. But I hear what you're saying. Unless they're just giving shit out for free at your GameStop, which is excellent.
I want to go to that GameStop.
Chase says Left 4 Dead did not have too big. Was he saying crescendo? Is that what he's trying to say? Left 4 Dead did not have 2 big crescendo parts back to back like that without a safe house between. Yeah, so that's very true. There was no safe house, like I said. You were just going to the shed, and you could only get into the shed if you found a key somewhere, if you bought a key. Like, you had to find like a toolbox on the ground, and it was like 250 copper to buy it. And then once you held on to it and you got to the shed, it would have stuff in it. But the shed did not have all the ammo that you needed. It only had like a lot of sniper ammo, and then there would be health. And if there wasn't health, it would just have all the ammo you wanted. So it was very inconsistent. Trade, yep. Left 4 Dead was popular because of its simplicity, not despite it. So, it's It is early. It's only August. The game comes out in October, so I'm sure they'll take this feedback and run with it. I have had no issues with drops or anything like that with the game. Very stable on Xbox. I know Chase was having some difficulty, or Scarcasm was having some difficulty with it on Scarfinger was having some difficulty with it on PC and Xbox. But I've had no issues on Xbox with it. Other than dying and sucking at the game. Have you watched Noah play it, Matt? Where's your interest?
Yeah.
It's going to be free on Game Pass, so I'm sure you're going to try it. No harm.
Yep.
No harm, no
Oh,
foul.
yeah.
But when you watch him play, what are your thoughts?
It looks like, Left 4 Dead. It looks good. He's enjoying playing it. When he can get into a match, he's enjoying it. I think it'd be a fun game for us all to play together. Just fuck around and not take it too seriously and just try and enjoy it.
Don't be
I
shooting
do think, with the decks and everything, they're trying to make it more complicated than what it should be.
And maybe they'll figure that out between now and the launch, simplify it, explain it better or something. I don't know. And the one thing I'll say, they don't give you any sort of how the Ascent beats you over the head with tooltips.
Oh my God.
Right? It's really annoying, right?
It is very annoying.
To Back for Blood, the complete opposite, really. There's no training that much, maybe a few tooltips here and there. So it's very interesting to see that. The Ascent kills you with that shit. Oh my God, guys, let me just figure this out,
I really wish some game would come up with a happy medium with, tooltips and helpful things to, move you along and just kind of explain things easily.
Flashcards.
Flashcards, there you go. We need to go back to the days when games came with manuals. You get your game, open it up, and there was a, 10, 15-page manual showing you what the controls were and how to do things and stuff. You don't remember that?
I do, but none of us are buying physical games anymore, so how's this going to help?
Well,
they got to make.
I don't know.
They got to make a.
Maybe
PDF.
that's what we got to do.
Maybe they'll make a PDF version of it. So, and what I don't like is when I want to figure out the controls for the game. The first controls option is always do you want to invert or do you want to do this? No, I want to look at the fucking controls. That's what I'm like. Why are you telling me all these options? No, I want to see what how do I know what my options are if I can't see what the default settings are? You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't hit me with the invert shit right away. No, let me see what it is, and then I'll decide if I want to invert or do something else.
Exactly. Or change, buttons around. Yeah.
Who's hell's doing user testing on all this crap? Come on, people.
Not us. It would be a whole different story if we was doing it.
The Ascent and Back for Blood, I think, are the only things I played this week. I feel like there was something else, but I can't remember. Chase and I did a little bit of Dark Alliance, I think, too. So we're getting close to the end of that. And it's definitely getting tougher towards the end, even though you're on that default setting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we found ourselves dying a little bit more than we were accustomed to.
Oh, that's good.
I guess. I'm not sure how much longer we got to do in that game, but it feels like we're getting close to the end. Let's see, what else is going on? There's a new game coming to Game Pass this week, Matt, called Art of Rally. If you're into racing games with kind of an artistic look, this has been out on PC for a while already. But it's kind of an isometric, top-down racer. Be on Game Pass on the 12th, and it'll also be on the Switch. It's not a multiplayer game, so it's not something you'll be able to do on game night, but it's a single-player game, and you're also getting, with no extra, fees here, new content. Kenya is added as a region to go along with the other 5 locations of Finland, Norway, Japan, Germany, and the Italian island of Sardinia. So again, that will be free on August 12th. Art of Rally. It's already out on PC. It came out last year, and it's got very good reviews. So came out September 23rd, 2020 on PC. So almost a year later now, it's coming out on Xbox and the Switch, and no launch date yet for PlayStation 4 or 5. Show Enough says Art of Rally seems dope. Yeah, it does seem really cool to what I've watched of it. So I'm going to check that out for sure. It could be a relaxing game, Matt. You know, it could be one of those chill games as well, and more of a top-down isometric look. So,
hey, and on Game Pass, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some of the news, shall we?
Near.
Really? Okay, do you hear what he just said? He just said, why don't you, for once in your life, just do the fucking news? All right, no. I'm going to do the fucking news. No, here is the fucking news.
Give me the fucking news, Mike.
Yeah, well, this is how versatile we are as a podcast. At the beginning of the show, we talked about Eric and his situation at work, and why he can't be here because he's actually got to be doing work. Well, the news that we're going to kick off here is not gaming-related news. It's news that we all need to be aware of, that the U.S. Postal Service on Friday finalized a plan to slow down some of its first-class mail deliveries as part of an initiative to cut down, a loss. They said last quarter the U.S. Post Office lost $3 billion. So the plan, which will go into effect on October 1st, will revise the existing 1 to 3 day service standards to 1 to 5 days. The Postal Service will keep 61% of the mail at its current standard. Delivery service will also be slower for about 7% of periodicals. So they are committed to delivering to every address in the nation 6 days a week, and are striving for financial sustainability. The addition of 1 or 2 days to current service standards for first-class mail and periodicals would enable the Postal Service to convey a greater volume of mail within the contiguous United States by surface transportation. They say the Postal Service relies heavily on air transportation, which may experience delays due to weather, air traffic, and air traffic control ground stops. And again, the service reportedly had a $3 billion quarterly net loss on Friday. They are predicting that the changes would cut about $160 billion of their predicted losses over the next decade. How do you feel about that, Matt?
Do we need the post office anymore?
I say yes, because I don't want to fucking, I have to mail with the child in school. I have to mail who's in a, what do they call those programs? So he's got a speech delay. So he's in all these programs, and they send you the IEP. You got to mail the IEP back.
For the IEP stuff, he deals.
I don't want to be going to a FedEx location or a UPS location. I want to pop the shit in the mailbox and get on with life.
Barb does all of hers PDFs and emails.
What am I supposed to? Ours, they send us this big packet, with all the little yellow thumbs that you got to initial and all this shit, and you got to send it back.
That's wild. Yeah, Barb gets Pete gets an email, and she comes down and it opens up PDF, and same thing, but it's a PDF. It jumps as you put your initials in. It jumps down to the next place. You got to put your initials in, and then you're
Next time I have the IEP meeting with them, I'll ask if we can go to this PDF system. And, of course, they send you an envelope. We put a stamp on it, and the fucking post office returned it back to us saying we didn't put enough postage on it.
Not enough postage. Yeah.
Yeah, for 20 cents.
Yeah.
Well, I assume I got to put another stamp on it, right? If they send it back and say it was 20 cents short, and I put another stamp on it, they're still going to count my existing stamp, right?
I think so. Did they already put the mark over the existing stamp?
Yeah, but that says on the thing.
No.
It says on the thing cover up this message with your new stamp.
Yeah, once they strike out, they stamp your stamp. I think that makes it null and void. So I think you have to put 2 stamps on there. I think.
Fucking jerk offs.
I'm not sure. I don't think we need the post office anymore. Okay, the only mail I get is fucking junk mail.
Well, I mean,
I get fucking mailers. I get fucking offers for credit cards and shit. It's.
Well, I don't want to get too political about things, but the post office was very important during the election, right? And then all of a sudden you're going to have, what's good, the mail-in ballots and all that stuff. Who's going to control all that?
You have to go to UPS or FedEx and do it.
Right, but I don't know. I don't know enough about it to say, like, can it just anybody do it? It seemed like the postal system had a way to, they had the machines to separate it all, or I don't know.
I don't know.
And do you want UPS and FedEx sending you? I know a lot of the shit we get electronically, but your W-2s and shit. You don't get your W-2s electronically, right, from your work. They send you a hard copy, right?
No, they hand it to me at work.
Oh, they hand it to you at work. Yeah. See, we get all the shit mailed to us. Chase mails it to us.
And that's another thing. Barb doesn't even, actually, we don't, Barb doesn't get hers anymore. It's another thing. It's online. She has to log on to her payroll company and download them, get them that way.
I'm not someone that says we should do away with the post office. I think there's a lot of workers. There's a lot of people that would be out of a job. I'm not a proponent of saying axe the postal service. I think they provide a service. Now, to your point, they also are contributing to sending us a lot of shit we don't need, and wasting the environment on stuff.
And they're also not sustainable at all. I mean, every year they're at a loss of money.
I think that's the way they're supposed to be, though, right? They're not supposed to be a for-profit, right? Is that a venture where you would ever break even?
You should at least break even.
Yeah.
I mean, for Christ's sakes, how any business, you don't go at a loss every year. You go out of fucking business. Look at Sears and Kmart and all that. I mean, you can't, even though it's a government thing, you still can't operate at a loss. You gotta.
Yeah, there's been some studies on that says it should be operating at a loss, but I don't have time to dig into all that right now. But it would seem tough to run that shit for profit without raising the prices considerably and closing a lot of offices. Like, I don't want to be dealing with a place like, you have a post office in your town?
Yes.
Just one or more?
Well, just one. I mean, there's lots of post offices in the area, but there's one about 5 minutes up the road.
Right. I don't want to get to an area where I got to drive like 3 towns over and have like a regional post office. The odd chance I need to go in there and fucking lines are out the ass. You know what I mean? But that's
when's the last time you went to a post office?
I go all the time to the post office. I go buy stamps. I got to buy
stamps online.
Huh?
You can buy stamps online.
Yeah. How do you stick them on the thing? Oh, they mail them to you?
Yeah.
Well, when you need stamps right away to fucking pay bills, you need, I go to post office, sometimes.
I guess that's the other question. That's the other question. What bills are you paying? You got to mail. Shit, I've got one. I write one check. And that's for the fucking water department. Everything else is just.
Well, no, some of the bills, like for the Cape House, for the insurance and stuff like that. When you live in these podunk towns, the insurance places don't have like online shit. You know what I mean? So they're not as sophisticated as when you live in some bigger places and you're dealing with these, hole in the wall insurance agencies and.
I don't see the use for the post office. I don't see any reason to have it.
I don't want to be going. I don't want to be going to FedEx and UPS and dealing with their prices. You know what I mean? And then you go to UPS and you get behind a guy that's like got to run a business out of his house, an eBay store, and he's got fucking 50 billion things he's trying to process at a UPS place. I mean, I know you can run into that at the post office too, because but it's been my experience that lines generally are longer in these UPS FedEx places. And then I think, I don't know how much training these people do, but you ever go into these UPS and FedEx people and you feel like you're dealing with people that just like like hired off the street. Sometimes I feel like I go to the post office. The person is knowledgeable about zip codes and where this needs to go. Sometimes I go to the UPS place, and if I didn't have a pre-sticker from Amazon, like if I'm returning something, like I have a feeling they wouldn't know how to like do much of anything beyond just fucking pointing the gun at the fucking thing.
I don't know. My experience has been very different from yours between the post office and UPS, so I can't say too much. Yeah, right. I've had just the exact opposite. I go to the post office and they're like, "What are you sending? Why you want to send this? What are you doing?" It's like, "Fuck, man." And then I go to UPS.
It's some old crusty people.
They package it up for me. They say, "All right, here it goes, $20." All right, cool. And I fucking here's my $20. They take care of it. Give me my tracking number so I can make sure it gets sent off to wherever and that.
Well, what are you going to mail for $20? What are you going to mail for $20? What are you mailing for $20? Why can't you do that online? Why can't you print it online?
Yeah. and UPS and FedEx, they'll come to your house and pick your shit up. You don't have to go. They'll come and take your shit away.
I get the UPS guy yelling at me in my front door. How long's that dumpster going to be in your driveway? I can't turn around. Where I call my local post office and I'm like, hey, I got this. Fucking DHL is the worst, right? And DHL like delivers to post office, and then the post office does the second half of the delivery. Yeah. Uh-huh. And I don't know, something got like the stupid post office routed it somewhere, and I called up my I don't call the 800 number. I know the local number to my post office. I talked to Rusty. Like, Rusty, where's my package, man? He's like, I'll be looking for it. And then Rusty comes to my door. Mike called. See? Mike called and said he was looking for this.
You got a better post office than I do.
The UPS guy knocks at my door. How long's that going to be there? You're bad enough your driveway's a half mile long, and then I get to your yard and you got this dumpster. I can't turn my truck around.
I want to fucking go kiss my ass. Get the fuck out of here.
It took me all restraint to say to this guy, listen, I deal with people yelling at me all fucking day. I would give my left nut to be in your truck and be left alone and put on the radio and let the cool breeze blowing me in the face. Then there are all these fucks yelling at me all day long.
Yeah.
Get a little perspective, please. You went to driving school. Do your fucking 3-point turn and get on with life. But I didn't. I kept it civil. Anyways, let's get back to the gaming news. That was Matt telling us how much he hates the post office. Now we know where he stands on a lot of these issues. Ghost of Tsushima, we talked about the director's cut is coming out in 2 weeks. I believe that is on the 20th as well, Matt, competing with Madden and the director's cut. But they are also giving you, which will be $40, by the way. If you're upgrading, I believe it is $20 if you already have it. But they are giving you a standalone mode, the Legends, which is the multiplayer aspect of Ghost of Tsushima, is they're now going to release that in September, on September 3rd for $20. So if you have no interest in playing the single-player game and you want to get into the multiplayer, you'll now be able to purchase this as a standalone item for $20. So Legends is also going to get a new mode, so you'll be able to squad up with your friends for a multiplayer experience. Sucker Punch wanted to do even better. Legends will allow gamers to join in on raid adventures without owning the base game itself. The pod is even getting sweeter with the arrival of a new mode called Rivals, which will be dropping on September 3rd. It will pit two teams against one another in the fight against hordes of enemies. The objective is to defeat all enemies and collect Magatama. That's what Trump needed back in the elections, was some Magatama.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, I'm sure he wanted this. Magatama can be used to hurt the other team, which provides a leg up on the competition for which the team can perform the best. Players will be able to use the material known as Magatama to use shades to block the enemy team from being able to purchase anything on their side. So as I'm reading this, I'm getting, well, not a one-for-one match. I'm getting like tinges of Gambit. You know?
Yeah.
It can also be used for curses that can inhibit the other team, like a health drain effect and exploding bodies. When enough Magatama is spent, teams can unlock the final stand waves, the last instance that will determine which team wins. There'll also be a new gear mastery system as well. So, you know, whenever you're ready.
You looking forward to this?
I haven't done anything with Legends at all. Shonuff says, can't wait for Ghost. Been putting off playing until PS5 update drops. Yep. I'm really looking forward to the director's cut because I want to get into that new area. And hopefully I haven't lost and forgotten everything I know about it. Otherwise, I'll have to start over, which isn't a bad thing because it's a great game. And like Shonuff says, it has the PS5 update. But I heard really good things about Legends prior to all this, and now with the PS5 update and all this other bonus content, sounds like it could be something exciting. So at some point, Matt, you'll upgrade when the Biden bucks come in and start piling up and you don't know what to do with them. You've bought all your black stone grill accessories and all your new wood and screws. One time it's going to roll in and the PS5 is going to be in stock and you're going to be like, that's it. I'm getting the PS5.
I'm buying one. Yep.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to definitely the director's cut, and then if I can find people to play Legends with, I'll try it out. Not a problem.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this coming out and playing because I mean, it got great reviews. Goes to salami first time around. So
for sure.
So
I'm really surprised how much they're continuing to support this game in the new generation because it came out right at the very end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it seemed like I finished it, and then like the next week later, the PS5 came out. So yeah, it's a great game for sure. They had their indie thing this week, and they Oxenfree 2 and Axiom Verge 2 were announced. Or shown more of the trailers. So if you're into those games are coming out at some point this year on the PS5 and PS4. Xbox is having their second indie showcase on Tuesday, August 10th. Twitch Indie Showcase, ID at Xbox, Tuesday, August 10th at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Fans will be able to see some new indie titles, including The Artful Escape, which we talked about last week from Annapurna, Ollie Ollie World. If you're into skateboarding, that's the Ollie Ollie franchise, and a couple other games that they're going to be showing as well. So if you're into Xbox and indie games, this coming Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on Twitch. All right, we're going to get back into the old COVID discussion here, Matt. Razer is going to let you sign up for a beta to test its RGB face mask. Okay,
that's crazy.
Let me copy this. While I'm doing this, Matt, tell people, you might be more up on this than I am. What is an N95 mask?
That's that mask they was telling you to buy back in the day. It was that thicker, white mask that had the little, circle filter thing, I think, on it. But yeah, the N95 masks were the ones that they kept telling you to buy back, year and a half ago or whenever, when all this shit started going down.
All right, let's make sure this is muted. Play this full screen. All right, so this should be up on the stream here in just a minute. Would you be wearing this, Matt? I know you're not going to buy it, but if you registered to be a beta tester for Project Hazel, would you wear this out and about?
Sure, make myself look like Bane.
You'd be rolling up at the Knothole League. I would pay to see you at the Knothole League, rolling up in this and just making a statement.
Or going to that beer place.
What beer?
That hole in the wall beer place.
Yeah. You need to you need to finagle a way to get your helmet on and this mask.
think with the helmet on, they won't be able to see. Well, if I wear my half helmet, they'll be able to see the mask. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a lit like a gaming PC N95 mask. Has a new name and beta program set up ahead of the planned fourth quarter launch. The future-looking Project Hazel has been christened the Razer Zephyr. And again, you can sign up for the beta. You give them your name, email address, and the reason why you want to wear the Zephyr. So, Matt, what would be a reason, if you could give us your Twitter response, please, 100. I know you can do more than 160 characters, but 160 characters or less of why you would want to Razer. What would be the way you'd convince them to give you this mask? Like
It's a conversation starter.
Bedroom fetish.
Role play.
Role play.
I
got to tell you, speaking about role play and fetishes, one thing I do like about the Ascent is the sounds. I'm drawn to games that have good sounds with loot, like when you're vacuuming up all the stuff. So the Ascent, Ratchet and Clank, when you're picking up all like the screws and the washers and the bolts and everything like that are on the ground. That sound. Lego games when you're busting all the bricks.
Oh, the Lego games were the best with that.
I wonder. So, speaking about fetishes, I wonder if I need to get into ASMR. I wonder if that would be like, give me, if that would be something my ears would like.
That might be. There's if you go to YouTube, there's all types of
really
ASMR.
I hear they're in hot tubs too, or fake tub, fake pools.
Fake hot tub, inflatable hot tubs, and all that shit. Yeah, go to YouTube and search ASMR, and you'll dude. There's all types of shit. There's like people sitting there, like us sitting here eating potato chips. Crunch, crunch, crunch. And it's somehow that's ASMR. Is there a price for this mask? Kevin wants to know. The people. Kevin wants this mask. Is there a price?
The article does not mention a price. It only mentions about joining up. I want to get a. Let's go back to.
Say $49.99.
You think so with the RGB?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the. See if we get a picture here, so you guys can see what this looks like. So that's it's a pretty substantial thing, on your face, almost like you were doing some renovations, like when guys come in your house and are doing stuff with a lot of dust and of the like, and they want to cover their face as best they can to be protective. Definitely covers a lot of real estate. But the article does not mention a price that I can see. Yeah, no price. So again, there's the picture. Barbara, what would be Barb's reaction if you just wore that in the bedroom and nothing else?
What the fuck's wrong with you? It doesn't smell that bad.
Safety first.
Safety first.
Oh boy. No, I signed up for the beta. We'll see what happens. Maybe maybe we can just do a show with them both on. That's what I I should have done. I want a podcast with the Zephyr. Now, would you go for the black or the white?
Black.
I think the black. The white, around the mouth could get stained or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, and the last news item we have here, Saber Interactive's Evil Dead game has been delayed till next year, now due in February 2022, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. So I know people were looking forward to that. They say, we want to thank everyone for understanding our support. Please stay tuned for more information about new character updates, pre-order availability, and the next gameplay video featuring Bruce Campbell. So it was originally slated to release in 2021, but now it's offered a revised launch window of 2022, telling the fans that extra time will be used to polish the title and ensure this is the ultimate Evil Dead experience you're all waiting for. Additionally, it will be implementing a single-player option for those times when co-op companions aren't readily available. So that's nice, because not every time I want to play a online game, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was nice to play when we were playing Back for Blood last night. We played with the bots, which are kind of useless. They do a little bit of, work and help you out, but there was no pressure of like random strangers being in there. And, so we could just, goof around and do our own thing and not have to like keep up with the Joneses, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show Enough says that might be $100 plus. It could be. For going back to the Razor mask. But Matt, you should go back and you should be the one to go back now and register and say, hey, I want a podcast on bad fodder figures wearing this.
Well, maybe I should do that here.
Yeah. Right. We're at 10:30. What are you feeling, Matt? You want to wrap it up? You want to do a terrible topic, which you haven't done in a while? Where you at?
Yeah, we can do it. We can do a terrible topic here.
All right. You got one selected?
You want women of the night walking around broadcasting out their anuses like 70s Harry.
Oh, nice.
Oh, look at that. Burn it up. I'm right down in the fucking bed. Adult toys, sex crime or sexual assault, vaginas. Jesus fucking Christ.
All right, who's got the GPS on the rub and tug?
Vaginas.
It's been a long time since we've heard that, but when we are a duo, we get through the show at a quicker clip than when we are a trio.
Yeah.
Speaking of trios, I've been on I know it's kind of morbid because poor Dusty passed, but I've been on a ZZ Top.
Oh wow.
Binge of late.
Oh,
can't get enough of that LaGrange and Tush.
How?
Oh. Hey. Tush is a great song too.
Man, does
Backbeat play a little Tush? They play a little
They
ZZ?
do not. Backbeat does not play ZZ Top.
Where do they play? Zeppelin?
They do some Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Beatles.
The guy's got more money than we'll ever see in our lifetime. And you could really have a strong debate. Was he a great singer anyways? But I heard Vince Neil doing Rock and Roll by Zeppelin the other day with Sammy Hagar. That was a tough listen, boy. That was a tough listen. I'm sure Backbeat does Rock and Roll much better.
I'm sure they do.
Does Matt Helmer want to give us a few bars of Rock and Roll or no?
No one wants to hear me sing. No, no one. No.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since I rock and rolled.
All right.
Okay, sir.
What are my options?
Your options are wedding, thief, bedtime, bodybuilder, ESPN. Wedding, thief, bedtime, bodybuilder, ESPN. And I have no idea what these are anymore. I used to know, but I don't anymore. So.
Bodybuilder, I can't get into the whole bodybuilder thing. The bodybuilder porn is like the worst thing.
So is that what you want to?
I am really looking forward to.
Maybe you want that to get rid of it.
I'm really looking forward to bedtime here in a few minutes because I'm dog tired. So why don't we roll with bedtime?
Well, this is perfect, Mike, for bedtime for you.
All right.
Okay, and your situation right now.
Keep in mind, I'm solo. The wife is away.
Just listen.
You're going to help me out, huh?
Just listen. Woman breaks into stranger's house, strips naked, and gets into bed in bizarre stunt.
Nice.
And she's okay looking. A woman has been arrested after she allegedly sneaked into a man's home, stripped naked, and jumped into one of his beds. Police say they do not know each other. Authorities in Texas were called to the house when the man discovered the strange woman in one of his bedrooms. The Killeen Daily Herald reports the bizarre "who's been sleeping in my bed" story has left cops stumped. Jovita Vaughn, 28, also known as Jovita Garza, was booked into the Bell County Jail on March 30th on charges of criminal trespassing and harassment of a public servant. The paper says the homeowner was apparently already asleep when he was suddenly awoken by sounds of some sort of disturbance in the house. He would later tell investigators he believed someone had come into his house last night but did not check until that morning. The following morning, he came to apparently discover Jovita doing her best Goldilocks impression. She was found sleeping naked on an air mattress in one of the man's bedrooms. The paper reports officers within the Killeen Police Department tried to get Jovita to leave, but it's claimed that she refused to budge. Jovita told authorities that she used to live at the residence in 2009 and felt like she had a right to be there. As she was determined to stay put, police on the scene decided to make an arrest. During Jovita's arrest, she decided to spit on an officer. As a consequence, she also faces a second charge of harassment of a public servant. She is currently being held in custody at Bell County Jail in lieu of payment of a $102,500 bond.
Drugs are a hell of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely got to be more to that story. I think, the fact that, instead of her still living there.
I thought you were going to say that she, got into the bed with him, just, started spooning him.
That's what I'm thinking.
What would you do if that Bob's away in Florida, some woman realized in the neighborhood that Bob was gone and just said, I see an advantage here to get with the civil engineer, just saddles up next to you. Just you're taking out that gun, aren't you? You're not rolling with the punches there. You're getting all upset, aren't you?
If some strange woman is going to get naked in bed with me and that's not Barb, then something's mentally wrong with that person, probably. So yeah, there's someone's unstable.
Hey. I've had these vivid dreams lately about two earthquakes is one that I've been having a lot. For some reason, I had a really bad dream last night about an earthquake. And then I've also had some about like a hostile what do they call it, like hostile takeover or sort of like what this woman was doing. What do they call that? Like if you have a property and you don't take care of it and someone moves in, like squatters.
Oh, squatter, yeah. Mm-hmm. But they just they take it over, eminent domain or something like that, right? It's not eminent domain. It's not assumed possession either. It's what do they call that? Just I know what you're talking. I just can't think of the name. I got it. It's going. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
There was a talk the other day.
Basically, you can like if part of your back property or something like that. If I'm your back neighbor and I started mowing it and taking care of it and doing stuff, like after so many years, I could claim that as being mine and there'd be nothing you could do about it or something like that.
There was a story of this guy, and I think it was New Hampshire or something, living in this the deep woods or something of this property, 70 acres, and he was way the fuck in there, built this house and everything like that, and the property owner told him a long time ago, yeah, don't worry about it, blah blah blah. But now I forget what the story was. Either he was going to sell the property and had to get the guy off. He finally decided to sell after so many years, or the town wanted him gone. But they fucking supposedly, while they had the guy in custody, his house burnt down, and all his possessions are gone.
Yeah.
So they burnt the whole fucking thing down on him. But yeah,
God damn.
I think that was I think reading that article. subliminally gave me these like, you know, nightmares or whatever. It's like
something else for you to worry about.
Imminent domain, like someone just all of a sudden just like, you know, contesting that they live at my house now, and I'm dealing with that. Like, what would happen to, like, you know, imagine the headache that if someone just like rolled up to your house, could you like easily just like shoo them away and be like, you crazy? Or like someone just said, no, I actually own this house, and then you had to go through the whole legal thing. Imagine that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to call the cops on them. So I mean, there's you hear it every once in a while. Cases like someone went on vacation. You know, they left their home for, you know, a week and a half, whatever. And as they was gone, like someone else just like broke in and started living there and claimed it was theirs.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm worried about down the Cape. I guess what's like keeping me up. Like, you know, someone's going to do that down there right as we're about to sell. My boss, who's very Italian, says he's like, some people in his family, I think, migrated to Canada because he's based in Canada, and they had some houses or property in Italy, and relatives have taken over the property, and they said it would just be too much of a hassle to go back there and like fight it, like contest it, like you've kind of
just letting it go.
Yeah, you've kind of like abandoned it. And these people just saw our situation and they moved in and have been living there, you know, sort of like, you know, rent free, not paying you anything. And I'm sure they didn't owe anything on these houses because they've been there since the fucking dawn of time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's scary. It's more anything else. It's the headache they have to go through to fucking get it straightened out. You know,
it's just going to happen, Matt, when you roll out in your fucking motorhome. Someone else thinks you're going to have the same motorhome. You're going to have something. You're going to have to like put like a big fucking Reds logo on the side of your motorhome, or otherwise people are going to be, no, that's my motorhome. Look, I had pictures. That was mine. I bought this.
Yeah. Proof. I need. I'm going to get
like. Proof. You're going to have to get, like, our three faces, the bad Fodder figures' faces, like, airbrushed on the side of your motorhome.
On the back of it. Yeah. World tour. Bad Fodder figures world tour.
Yeah. Stacking paper.
Stacking paper, one day at a time.
Speaking of stacking paper, work is imminent, so we got to wrap this up, Matt. Any prognostications?
Yeah, thanks, Chase and Kevin. Chat there. Nice talking to you guys. And Mike, of course, you know, leading the show and keeping everything going together. Very nice. Very good. Eric out there doing his job, doing his thing. Very cool for him.
Lieutenant
Dan. So, good for him. Hopefully he doesn't need 2 legs like Lieutenant Dan. So
better him than us.
Exactly.
Fucking like Barney Fife out there.
Us two schmucks. Goddamn. Can you imagine us being partners in a goddamn squad car bike?
Well, I got to tell you, Matt has told me that the Reds are playing in Boston and the Red Sox are playing in Cincinnati. Next year.
Yeah.
There's going to be some shenanigans.
Yeah.
It's going on somewhere.
We're going to have to try and figure this out.
Wearing our RGB razor mask.
Okay. Goddamn. We'll be on the big jumbotron in the stadium there.
Yeah, preferably not on the Kiss Cam though.
Yeah, it's the Kiss Cam.
I was on Scarcasm this week. If anybody wants to go listen to that, Chase and Scarfinger's podcast. Hell of a topics that Chase selected for us this week. I gave Matt some insight onto those topics that Chase seemed plucked from Reddit. So if you want to go listen to that, wherever the Scarcasm podcast is available, you can hear my dulcet tones there as well. Otherwise, thanks for joining tonight, Matt. I know you were out in the heat at Riverfront. No, Great American Ballpark. Great American Ballpark. Riverfront's no longer a thing.
It'll always be Riverfront to me.
Yeah. Programming note. Next week, there will be no show. Matt has to go get that, waxing done again that he gets every August to get rid of for his last dip in Coney Island before they close it up. So he has to get that full body wax job in.
Yes, I don't really fucking Sasquatch running around out there.
He needs a day to recover. He can't sit on his ass after a full waxing, so he won't be able to podcast unless he gets a stand up desk. But otherwise, there will be no show next week.
Exactly.
So I hope it's a speedy process, Matt. Just one sort of rip and tug and you're done. Just a full body. They need to make like a zipper on it and just.
But the best part is I'm like 10 pounds lighter when it's done, and everything looks bigger.
Oh boy, how's that beard coming along?
It's great. It's really, really great.
It's really great. Jeez.
I got this dark mustache, and everything else is great.
What does your sister say of it?
She don't say much about it. She didn't say much about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been 173 of the Bad Fodder Figures podcast, a subsidiary of Glovebox Gaming. We will talk to you all in 2 weeks.
Then I won't get off in the morning.
Wow. No getting off in the morning. I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
That sucks.
What? Fuck?